Here we have yet another eBay scam. This is a very common one that I have had happen to me. I've lost track of how many times at this point. Several months ago, I bought a ceiling fan from the Digitan Goodwill. It was a SMC Emperor ceiling fan, really nice fan. And unfortunately, the previous owner, when it was dismantled, put the screws back in the motor and they hit the windings. And I haven't had a chance to take it apart yet to see if it's okay, but I'm pretty sure the motor is shot and it's going to have to be rewound. So, just for sheer curiosity, I says, let me take a look on eBay and see if there are any of those ceiling fans. Now, I haven't looked for ceiling fans on eBay in years because the prices of any ceiling fans on there at this point are triple digits to start off with for absolutely no reason. And it's almost impossible to find what you're looking for because every ceiling fan in sight, whether it was manufactured yesterday or tomorrow or 50 years ago, is called vintage, rare, antique. Those are like keywords that these stupid sellers post on everything on that site. So you search for vintage ceiling fan or old ceiling fan and you get brand new stuff that's just, it's stupid. But that's what it is. So I searched for this on here, not expecting to find something I can afford. And interestingly enough, I found one for $20. $75 shipping, which is like 3 times what it costs Goodwill to ship it. So again, here we go again with the outrageous shipping prices, specifically on eBay and not everywhere else. But you know, a dual install of them, if I could get the other one rewound, totally worth the 75 plus 20. So I put in the bid for 20 beans. If I got outbid, I got outbid. You know, whatever. So it's going along. Nobody's bidding on the auction, and then the auction ends. Minutes before it's over. And I go on the site and I get the famous message. This listing was ended by the seller because there was an error in the listing. That's cap. There was not an error in the listing. The error was that the seller did not start the auction high enough. And so the bidding didn't go out of control as he or she expected, and he or she was dissatisfied with the sale price, so he or she just canceled the auction. That's what happened, and that happens all the time. Now, I'm going to show you this listing because it's legitimate. Right, here's the photographs. We got the information tag. It's clear. We can see the information on the motor, etc. These are all clear photographs that show the item pretty well. And now I'm going to bring onto the screen, I'll bring onto the screen the description. This is the listing description, which allegedly has an error. And I'm looking at this listing description, and this all seems perfectly fine. It seems accurate. It's detailed. I don't see any errors in this description. So it's a joke. It's a stinking joke. And I've had this happen. I've lost track of how many times at this point. I've lost track of how many times this has happened to me. And this right here, this is one of the main reasons why I've given up on this site. Because everything on there is too expensive and I can't rationalize the purchase. And on the off chance that something shows up that I actually can afford and is listed at a reasonable price, half the time or more than half the time it doesn't actually surface. It's almost to the point where it's a surprise when it really surfaces. It's a joke. It's a stinking joke. And it's sad because the old adage remains true. One bad apple ruins the bushel, right? There are tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of people that conduct legitimate business on this site. But I've had so many bad experiences with these scammers, and that's what this is. This is a scam. It's not necessarily a legal scam in the sense that the money was refunded, so I have no case. Nothing was stolen. Nothing was ripped off. It's just a dishonest way to run a business, which to me is a scam. There's nothing you can do about it. But there's been so many of these experiences that I don't even want to deal with the site anymore. I don't even want to look on there because there seems to be, maybe just with the stuff that I look for, but there seems to be way too high of a percentage of people that conduct business like this. And I'm kind of surprised that eBay even allow this, because in this particular scenario, if you look at the seller, he or she has only completed 2 transactions. So at this point, the account's standing on the site has only a 2/3 success rate, right? 1/3 of the items have been canceled. Obviously, we're only talking about 3, so it's a small number because it's only been 1. But eBay makes it very clear as a buyer that when you bid on something, you enter into like a legal binding where if you put the bid in, you have to buy it unless there's like some real extenuating circumstance, and even then I believe it's pretty hard to actually back out of it. So I don't understand why when you sell something as a seller, when you list the item, why do you not have a legal obligation to sell it? It's like a double standard. If you bid, you got to buy it, but if you sell it and you don't like the listing the price the auction ends up with, oh, just cancel it. What a stinking joke.